doing the challenge that's really difficult, bro. It's the GlobeTrotter challenge, bro. It's not easy. This ain't easy. And we've already won at Lazy Links, and we won at Tilted. So all these other places, except for the ones we've landed at, are options for completing this. So for right now, we have a place, a hot drop. I've beat that part of the map. Now I'm on NAE, so I have to choose a good place. We're going retail. This one is the retail one. It's either retail or salty, bro. I already landed salty, I think. I landed salty, I think. I have not landed retail. I'm landing retail. Is this NAE or South America, bro? Bro, it's gonna save the world. It's gonna save the world. I mean, I hope I landed here at the right spot. I hope I'm not breaking the rules. Oh my gosh, I got a scar. And then also, y'all have to realize that, you know, the importance of, dude, the importance of some things. Hold on. Goodness me. Reality versus, like, what could be. Reality is important. In Fortnite is one of the one things with the storyline talking about, like, multiple realities and different choices and stuff like that. So this used to be an underground bunker right here. I heard chest. Oh, here it is. So, and then, you know what's really important is that, you know, ooh. A lot of people don't understand, like, I don't really hear people saying this, but for me, he's my hero too. Abraham. And in the United States, where the tariff is for $2,000 tariff that we're getting in the future, they have signed something called the Abraham Accords. Abraham is very, very, very important. Just because he didn't leave heaven to come check on Jesus Christ while he was on earth, which shows his level of royalty and significance. Because if you're leaving heaven, right, for a moment of time, and dude, that's hard to do, I would think, because obviously the gates are hard. I would just say emotionally hard to do. Because, you know, leaving for a moment there, that's hard. It's hard. So, but yeah, Abraham was there. He was not there at that time when Jesus Christ was seen afterwards. There's written on the ancient text about, which is called the Holy Bible. I'm saying ancient text because I don't know the numerical page. But I know that there's evidence that when he was at, like, dude, I'm doing this, you might as well be like Bear Grylls is out there talking about this in 2026. He's having his walk with and everything like that. Dude, I'm over here giving y'all all this, like, telling y'all this stuff about the ancient text and stuff like that. Think about that. That's, you know, some people, they didn't understand that it was like this level of importance, but it is important. And so when Jesus was on earth, he had a moment where Elijah and Moses were able to come and check on him. So what I was kind of straying off of, bro, but I came back. I always come back to talking about this. Is the thing that they were doing with, if Elijah is showing up with Moses, or Moses is showing up with Elijah, that means that they, that to me is a sign of wow, whoa, not many people could handle, not many systems or whatever you want to call it could handle that amount of energy, bro. Think about that energy that came here. It's really, really important. So if what happened with Jesus comes back from talking on the mountain with Elijah and Moses, they said that Jesus, it's written that Jesus' face had been manipulated due to the amount of energy that was in that room, that surface, that surface literally was able to hold Jesus Christ, Elijah, and Moses' and Elijah's spiritual self, and Jesus in Jesus's own physical self, which is, it's not whatever world Jesus was in and walking on. That is a strong, if y'all say it's a system or whatever you say, that is strong just because everything that he does is important. And so it's really, really important. And then he has people showing themselves again, being able to represent themselves. And the way that it's written that, he met with Elijah and Moses on a mountain on one of the times in the day. And it says that after that, this person, if y'all remember what he took so we could be clean from sin, by just a few minutes of time on a mountain, with the next level event of having Elijah and Moses show up on their planet. He came down and they said that he had, not permanently, but for a little bit, was somewhat manipulated. His his physical look was somewhat manipulated from it doesn't say what from, but they just say in a general way that he appeared changed. He not forever, it's just like an event, if you see a shooting star or something like that, and your face changes or whatever for a moment. Now I think there's different identities, okay? So with that being said, that is really important. So now y'all understand how important Elijah is to what I'm talking about. And then what I'm trying to say is, if Elijah were to come to see this world at this time, he would, I can't really think for him, but, they know more than we do. So, I can't really, I can't think for him, but I know based upon his past reactions with his walk with God in life, is when he saw that, he stayed patient. He saw that some people had expanded so much that they were starting to offer sacrifices to false and wrong, not real deed, something that was like man-made, but so with no, there was no. I mean, that's so it shows a sign of frustration, and he literally tells those people, like he tells their main priests that to do their sacrifices, their burnt offerings, the burnt offering sacrifice. He tells them to literally do it while he said put water. First he said do it, y'all do it, not like encouraging it. He was testing these unclean spirits that were manipulating these people. And when you look at it, he sits there for some time. He sits there for some time. Elijah sits there for some time, and then it seems like a very, very long time, because he starts to tell them when he's about to do the same thing to them, but much harder. He sits there patiently staring at what is sin and not like that it can ruin happiness or whatever it is that sin does to a person. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying there's a situation where he's looking at it and he's telling these people, he's trying to help these people, but at the same time he's trying to prove a point that what they were doing was not right. And I mean, what nowadays people would think it would just be like dark magic or something, bro. That's what, back then they were probably doing. He probably ran into something that we would be like, man, dude, that's like black magic, bro. It's like witchcraft that they're doing. And so he tells these people that their warlock or whatever, I don't even know how to explain it. Like their warlock is like not real. Like they don't get their power from this warlock. So he tries to prove to them that their warlock is not even a real thing, and is not present, it's not there. So he makes them do what they do to try to get power, to understand the future or whatever they do. He tells them to do that, and he tests them. And after they get tested, the people, he does the same thing in the right way, the burnt offering the right way. In the old time, the burnt offering the right way, but he tells them that he basically tells them that they were so wrong that when he does his sacrifice, the burnt offering sacrifice, he told them that to make it even harder for him to prove that how powerful he is. And not just how powerful he is, but he tells them to put the burnt offering that they were trying to do he said he's going to replicate. Basically, he said he's going to replicate what they're trying to do, but harder, much harder. He tells them, and it's much harder because he basically tells them he basically taunts them because they're doing like witchcraft or sorcery or something like that, and they're doing it to a false god. There's no such thing as a false god because there's only one God. But they're doing this to a false deity, and it's not right at all. So he goes and he sees this, and he goes up to their priest and tells them, I don't even think they're priests at this point, because if you're doing this to that if they were doing that to that existence, if y'all know what I'm talking about, that can't be holy in the sense of, and priests are known to be holy. So I guess they were like somewhat like magicians or something like that. But at the same time, somebody, was looking out to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So their burnt offering never worked. It was like for a whole week, he stared at their burnt offering, and no, none of their deities or whatever showed up. None of their dark magic or whatever it is that it was showed up. Nobody, the sacrifices did not work. And then it was time for him to prove himself, but he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to spend his time to do this. He proved himself, but he did it in such a way that it shows that there was some sense of taunting. It proves that there was some sense of taunting. He literally goes and he tells them to do the same thing that they were doing for a whole week, but this time put water on it for their burnt offering. Put water on Elijah's sacrifice. Put water on it. So he was like, put water on it. And the thing that took weeks for them to do, and it didn't work out in the end. The thing that took weeks for them to do, and it didn't work out in the end. Because what is about to happen with Elijah and these false prophets in the past, in this old time past, is about to be instantly shown that they were wrong. And the way that they were shown that it was wrong was in the sense of physics. If you're like a scientist or something, I don't even know how to explain it. If you're like a scientist or something, because we're on the internet trying to fix the internet and do all this, if you're trying to get physics with it, in the sense of science, their sacrifice was a dry incense, and it didn't work for gaining power or anything like that. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. So since it didn't work, to prove that it didn't work, they do it for a whole week, and they don't basically, it doesn't succeed. They don't gain any power. So they don't gain any power from what they're doing. They're offering sacrifices to a dark creature, bro. It's basically, and so now it's his turn to prove himself, and he does it, and he instantly does it, but he does it so fast that people don't seem to understand how important that situation was. Not about offering sacrifices to a false god. That we already know that. It's the fact that there is such godliness within the kingdom that he basically their burnt offering, like a cigarette. They were giving them a cigarette, not like temptation, but like a cigarette is burnt. Isn't it like dry leaves? They're giving them dry leaves and telling them to turn it on fire, because if their deity, their source of power is from God, it will light up. And eventually it doesn't, and he is held to show. He's not held because he's free to do whatever he wants, but he's fine. He's like, he finally, it's his turn to show what he can do. And it's not, I don't like to put it in the context of it's his turn to do his stuff, but at one point it's like he has basically told them that their time is up all this false idolatry and worshiping false gods and all this stuff. So he does the same thing, and with a matter of seconds, his thing instantly it instantly lights up instantly, and another win, bro. We landed at retail with this one, bro. Woo! Goodness me. So basically, nice. Alright, in the sense of gaming, in this game, I have just now got a victory royale in the challenge, bro. And I got it. So